So they did an outstanding job on that. That should keep us running cool for another couple of years. McDonald Elementary, we had some ongoing projects in the science room. We did get the full floor completely painted in one of those this summer. That was using like with one of those garage epoxies. We do have some humidity issues currently at McDonald. We have them about every year. The issue is that the air conditioning system is oversized for the square footage. So the system will run and obtain temperature very quickly, but it's not drying the air out like we really need it to do. We have purchased dehumidifiers for the rooms, and they're being maintained by our school maintenance folks. We generally just have this problem late July, August, and it really kind of disappears by mid-September. The tennis courts, it's another issue. We bought a high-speed patching compound specifically designed for tennis courts. Well, it really involves environmental issues that have to occur on the surface for a period of time. It has to be above 55 degrees for at least 6 or 7 days, and the moisture content has to be almost completely out of it. So when it goes in, it expands and it adheres to the asphalt and concrete. We finally got past the temperature issue. We've had wet weather pretty much all summer, so it's not really allowed us to do that. It will get fixed, or it will get patched in the month of October. Knock on wood, that's our driest month. Our temperature should be good, should be ideal time to get that done. Long range for the tennis court, our area service center in Peachtree has developed a project to resurface the entire, we're going to come in and cut down the court, resurface it completely. We're going to fix all the net posts and concrete swells, and we're going to replace the entire lighting system around it with a Musco light system. That's scheduled for fiscal year 17, and it's already been plugged in as an FSRM project. Okay, this goes a little bit more toward the logistics side, purchasing and contracts. We awarded the student transportation contract for 5 years. It's about $5.25 million per year. That's for both Fort Knox and Fort Campbell. We exercised our pest control contract, and our new copier contract came on board for 5 years, about $128,000 per year with both Fort Knox and Fort Campbell. And for Fort Knox, we did buy another John Deere Gator with a snow plow to augment their snow removal equipment. And we do a pretty good job, but our fleet's starting to age a little bit. We wanted to add a little extra thump to it. Last couple of years, we've had a little bit of snow, so we needed to kind of add that to the fleet. Any questions of me?
No, sir. Thank you for your rundown. Any questions of the board? Yes, sir.
Okay, so sorry, I think with Pierce Elementary, the gym was remaining.
That is correct. The gym is going to become a performing arts theater studio for the high school, middle school project.
Okay. And how is that? Where are we in the progress or in the process with that project?
Well, that's part of the high school, middle school project. The
Okay.
demo piece of that, they went in there and they removed a few things, the awning and overhang, some of the attachments to the building. They had to come away when the demo contractor gets out of there. I'm pretty sure Walsh is, and that's the contractor that was awarded the high school, middle school project. He'll probably be on site pretty quick to get started. Our demo contracts are behind the power curve. They just are. The contractor is not, hasn't moved in a very quick manner at all on them. The core's been on them. It's some issues. There's an issue with the grass over there. constantly trying to work through some of those demo issues that don't really belong to us. So,
Okay.
And-
No,
and
that was it.
I do have one question since you brought up gym. Is the King Solver gym that's currently there, are you leaving that in place or is that part of the demolition as well?
no, sir, that is going to be demoed.
It is, okay.
Yes, that is a Garrison decision. Ms. Weatherington has fought tooth and nail to keep the Mudge Gym, the King Soliver Gym in-house for the folks, the post folks to use as they saw fit, MWR, Boy Scouts. Right now I had a reserve unit using it as a drill hall on the weekends. The issue is that currently the Garrison does not receive sustainment dollars for that. And I don't think they really want to take the building on. It's a non-air conditioned, all those, but they do wonderful job 3/4 of the year. Great buildings. We've just done new roofs on them, windows. There's a lot of money has went into those in the last 5 years.
Thank
Does
you.
that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Any other questions, comments on Milcom? King Solver? Hearing none? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are there any items from the board members presented as old business at this time? Hearing none, we'll move to new business. So for new business, there are a series of reports provided to the board. First of those is the cafeteria monthly report. Are there any comments from the board on the cafeteria monthly report? Hearing none. We'll move on to the financial statement. Are there any questions or comments on the financial statement from the board?
Mr. Koff, just to clarify, the 76% spent is where we should be. We're feverishly working right now to spend to 100%. The end of our fiscal year doesn't necessarily align with the rest of the federal government. We spend out before the end of this week. So we're working right now to spend out the rest of that, of our allocations. So it should be a zero balance by the time we meet next month.
Mr. Gerstner, with the recent reorganization at your level, are you feeling any secondary friction in terms of manning and being able to execute the budget at end of year spending?
We have, and our bigger issue has been manpower. We are down 2 purchasing people at the school level here at Knox, and the person who worked to do this at the district level that works at Campbell, his mother died on Tuesday, so it's cost us to have some scrambling things here at the last minute. But as far as agency-wide friction, no. So we're working to rectify this and move forward. There will be some agency purchases that will take place over the next month, but they've given us a cutoff of this Friday so that the agency can then make some larger decisions with any remaining funds.
And Mr. Gerstner, the normal one to end of year list, I assume the Kentucky District has done that and submitted that to Peachtree City?
We have, yes, we have. And as a matter of fact, we're still working on some things to add to that list. Should fallout money come to the agency as we move through September.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, we'll move on to the enrollment report. I'll give the board members just a minute to look at this report.
Job security.
Are there any questions or comments about the enrollment reports? Hearing none. Principal school reports. Once again, I'll give the board members just a moment to review.
Ms. Coffey, if we could just give each one of the principals an opportunity just to stand.
Absolutely.
About a minute, just tell us how things, we've been in school for about a month, so if we could have each one of them stand. Angelique, you're on the end. Would you start with McDonald, please?
Good afternoon. I'm just going to highlight some of the things that have happened at McDonald Elementary since the beginning of the school year. On July 25th and 26th, the teachers returned early to conduct their 2-year training of the implementation of our CCRSM. We had our open house on Friday, July the 29th. All teachers have begun their beginning of the year assessments in reading and math. The leadership team has met to begin phase 1 of the school improvement process, which is renewing the commitment to our school's vision. We have sent out feedback from our stakeholders. A parent meet and greet of the principal was held on Friday, August the 12th, and there was a family movie night on Friday, August the 19th. Upcoming events include establishing our school goals based on current data. Our scholastic book inventory will be September the 7th through the 13th, and fall pictures are to be held on September the 13th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Washington?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Scott has had several events occurring this year. The Beta Club was recognized this summer at the National Convention as being one of the recipients of the National Beta Schools of Merit, and we are pleased with that. Our AVID program is expanding. Our goal is to become an AVID demonstration site. We're well on our way to making sure that all of our students are involved in the binder system. We're serving as tutors. We have the agenda books flowing, Cornell notes, and everything is happening school-wide. So in order to be a demonstration site, you have to have everything flowing school-wide, and we're well on our way to that. Our CSI team is working, and we're advertising for parents' involvement, but we are working on 3 goals at this time. The first one is an organizational goal, working with our PLC. Parents will be receiving a note to join us in a book study, and it's called Common Core at Work. And we're hoping that our parents will engage in purchasing that book and reading along with us, and then becoming involved in the discussions. We also are working on 2 academic goals, and the first one has to relate to literacy, and the second one is math. And our parents know that we have had 2 sessions, workshop sessions, one of math, August the 11th, and our second one was this morning at 9 o'clock on literacy. We're opening those to the community so that they can understand what's happening with the standards and in math and in literacy. So any of that information that's out there, it's open not only to Scott parents, but to the community as well. We have a new social skills program in place. From the data last year, we realized that our children were doing great academically, but then socially, they didn't always have the necessary skills. Even though parents have taught them, we reinforced them, but they just didn't realize that they were survival skills for them. So our first one was on listening and following directions. The second one was how to ask a question. And the third one is working on ignoring distractions. And so that program is really serving the children well. They seem to like it. And then finally, our girls basketball team has started, and we wish them well. I think we may have only 1 or 2 returning students, and so we're at a building foundation. Thank you all for coming today.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Just going to talk a little bit about what's going on at the high school. We've had a great first month. We're underway. We're past the drop ad. So many of you parents know the drop ad is first 15 days of the semester. So we're past that. So students are in their classes, getting busy and doing what they're supposed to do. So we're excited about that. We have a new ELA teacher that started on Monday, the language 11 teacher. So she's coming to us from Korea. So we're able to get that person on board. So she started on Monday and full-time with the kids on Wednesday. So we're excited about that. We have one special education teacher that's coming the 8th of September. Right now, we've had a sub covering those services, making sure there's no break in service for the students, and so that she's coming on board the 8th. And we've also had a few vacancies in our educational aides, and so we have subs in there and working through that and making sure those services are covered for the students. We also have a school psychologist vacancy, but we're working through that with some of our in-house local people to make sure those kids have their services. Seniors had their pictures made before school. If they missed that, they can come. They're going to have they'll have their pictures taken this week and next week. Underclassmen photos are August 31st. All fall sports are underway. We had cross country ran their first race this week, had 2 young men place in the top 25 up in Louisville, the swag relays, they had that. That's a great thing. We also had Melissa Gregory for the golf team. She qualified for the All-A State Tournament for the 2nd year in a row, so congratulations to Melissa. Girls and boys soccer has started off very well, so they are being competitive, getting better each and every day at practice and during the game. So I was able to go out to the first game with Grayson County. They won that game, I believe, 5-0, and tonight they host Taylor County at 6 p.m. So if you can make it out there, that would be great. Also, volleyball is doing well, getting better. They host tonight. They host Valley High School. So again, we can make our way both ways. So we're getting ready for the Army Bowl versus Fort Campbell. We'll host it on September the 16th. I hear it's a very big event, so we're excited to host that game this year and looking forward to it. So some of those activities that we do for that game will be coming out. Also, September 23rd is our homecoming, and we're making plans about homecoming week activities for that week. So thank you. All right.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Hi.
It's been an excellent start of the year over at Van Voris/King Solver. We've had many things happen. I'd like to share a few of those with you. In preparation for our transition to the new 21st century building, whenever that might be, we started our school year a little bit earlier with offering some professional development to the staff, and that began in early July with a 2-day session on 21st century teaching and learning. This training included on how to use the new environment in the building, and I know that you guys will have the opportunity next month to possibly tour the facility, and so you'll get to see how that environment is very different from a traditional school. So we did train on some of those concepts. We included the environment and how that will contribute to the new instructional strategies that will be used, along with on some things called Wagner's 7 21st century survival skills, and also some theories that we tried to help the teachers to remember, as well as some new theories that we introduced related to 21st century learning and teaching. Just a few of the highlights of that training. The training continued, as Ms. Joyner talked about, in the end of July, right before we opened school, on the implementation of the new math standards, the CCRSM. Also, though, included was some training on the new math materials that arrived, the Go Math materials, and that's very important, and we're going to continue that effort. Teachers are very excited to have those materials. Open house was July 28th. We had a documented turnout of about 60%. We think it was more like 85% turnout, and for at that point in time, we had 589 families enrolled. We now have 626. So we had a very high turnout. We were very pleased with that. As we have a very common theme going on, our teachers are also testing at the beginning of the year. We have the benchmark assessment system for reading going on in grades 1 through 3. They're assessing independent reading levels along with instructional reading levels for all those children in those grade levels. The continuous school improvement team is gearing up. They're going through all the school's data, and they are getting ready to start helping us guide our decisions on where we're going and choosing our school goals. We also have been given the charge of having an organizational goal along with 2 academic goals. We are implementing, along with the other schools in the Southeast District, Indodia Americas, with the professional learning communities this year in our schools. We're focusing on math, and we are definitely in high gear with that in our school at Van Voris, and we are focusing on the implementation of our new units. On September 2nd, next week, we have a professional development day. The staff will be training in the morning on the implementation of PLCs, on the work of and the work that the PLCs will be doing as well. Not just how they work, but the work that we will be doing. That'll be the morning focus, and in the afternoon, we're going to focus on balanced literacy and the 8 components of balanced literacy and what that looks like in the classroom. Our PTO is in high gear as well, even though every single board member moved over the summer. So it took them a little while, but they are planning all kinds of activities. They are really excited about working with several staff members in the building, particularly our counselor, who is starting our Student of the Month program again. And August 31st, our first group of Students of the Month will be having lunch with her, and the PTO is working with her on highlighting them. The PTO, the next meeting for them is August 31st at 9 o'clock, I believe. And progress reports go out next week for 4th and 5th graders. Thank you.
Thank you, principals. We know how busy you are, and we really appreciate the time that you've taken to be here with us today.